second problem, we've talked about the problem of hooking people and getting them in the front door, but the second problem is, how do you keep them there? How do you keep them coming back? How do you get others to come in? How do you keep them from running away? That sort of thing. And this involves, emotional manipulation. We've talked about this codependence idea where you want to tell them, oh, they're special, but God doesn't like you very much, and you have to, God's angry all the time, and you have to kind of cater to his need. And this is kind of an emotional manipulation thing. Also part of the emotional manipulation is religions will go after people who are ill or weak or in the hospital or away from home. The Hare Krishnas used to go into the airports and go find people who were looking sad and away from home and maybe homesick. And you find, around universities, kids that are away from home, they're very easily subject to religious and that sort of thing. Sexual repression is another big one. They want to control your sexuality, prevent you from being sexual, so that they can sort of keep you distracted, keep you guilty, feeling on edge and these sorts of things. And then later on, we'll see what they're going to do with that. There's rituals to encourage cooperation. There's playing on fear and hate. And there's all sorts of this emotional manipulation. And all these religions are doing that, by the way. We have Mormon missionaries going out for people. We have Scientology with its self-help scam. We have Islam threatening to kill people who leave the religion. All of these things are emotional manipulation. After emotional, we have information manipulation, suppression of reason, suppression of knowledge. Stay away from that subversive material that'll teach you all the things that are wrong with our religion. All the religions do that. Scientology, apparently they got internet browsers given to them on CDs that had websites removed from them that were critical of Scientology. So all of these religions do that. Let's see. Also in form of information manipulation, we have things like publicity stunts or things that try to draw people's attention. Rileyism is great for publicity stunts. I mean, their logo is a swastika intermingled with a Jewish Star of David, and that's just there to make some controversy and get some publicity, and they're big on this.
They actually modified it.
They modified it, but then they modified it back.
It's still the same thing. It's just that now it's
and they're trying
smoother.
to build the third temple in Israel, and that's sure to get a little attention from people. Anyway, the third thing about maintaining a following and keeping people is to leverage the believers. Once you have believers in the door and they're under your control and you've got them emotionally manipulated, get them to do all your work for you. Get them to help you spread the word. Create little initiation rituals where they have to be your pet for a while, and make them eat crackers if they're good, or prevent them from masturbating and these sorts of things. Have them do letter campaigns or lobbying or boycotts, or involve them in moral panics, as Jen talked about, and definitely get them to tithe and give them tours of service for you. Then once you, so this is emotional manipulation, information manipulation, and leveraging believers. Once you have these sorts of things kind of ingrained, you want to solve the final problem, which is building institutions. And here, one thing you see a lot is you want to have a hierarchy where you have the peons that don't know very much, but you want to have a lot of worker bees that are doing stuff for you, and they have to move up and earn their keep in the ranks and so on. And eventually there's higher levels of knowledge and these sorts of things. And pretty much all religions do that. They have some sort of priesthood, or there's some sort of rituals to advance you. Rileyism has six levels of the hierarchy. Mormonism, you have to pass certain rites to get the secret handshakes, which are based on the Masons' handshakes, because Joseph Smith was a Mason. Anyway, so most religions are a lot like pyramid schemes in this respect. And you have to have an institution like this to grow it very large, or to have it last beyond the lifetimes of the people. And there's succession rights for the leaders, where they give up their leadership, they die, the Pope dies, and the next guy comes along. The last thing to deal with institutions is to control the family. And this one I've talked about a number of times, that most religions extend the church into the family, and this creates a clear power structure where the father is sort of the minister to the wife and the children. And this sort of power structure is called an authoritarian power structure, and it's very, very good for indoctrinating children. That's kind of its main purpose, is to indoctrinate children into obeying and following instead of thinking for themselves. And so children, this is a way religions reach down into the family and control the children who are impressionable, and get them to be believers in the next generation. And this is also where sexual repression comes in, because you let that sexual repression loose in the family, and you train the women to be subservient, and so the men are just creating all these babies, and so these babies who are supposedly taken care of by God, or God will provide, but God never really does. These babies end up being the next generation of believers. So religion is intertwined with the family structure because it's a parasite of the family structure. So you have to intertwine your religion with your family if you're going to do that. So you too can make your own religion. You just follow the steps outlined, and you create and you solve these problems, and you borrow and adapt from what's out there, and then you too can have all the money and sex you want, just like L. Ron Hubbard did.
I'm working on creating my own.
Yeah? Yeah. What's it going to be based around?
Sex and money.
Sex and money.
Sex and money. Seems good to me.
Rallianism is pretty funny because it's a free sex thing.
Well, I mean, I figure the published general perspective of atheists is already that we're some kind of
stodgy,
selfish, appealing to our own base desires and no consideration for anything else. By the way.